Good luck on your journey. 2026 is your year, and you are going to absolutely kill it this year. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Lewis. Now, one question that I get asked an astounding amount of times is, hey, what gear do you use to make your YouTube videos, and what gear do I need to start my own YouTube channel? So that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. We're going to go over everything that I use to make my YouTube videos, as well as what you need to start your own channel in 2026. Now, before we start any of that, I would ask that you guys please consider subscribing to the channel. It would really mean a lot to me. It helps me go a long way in producing the videos and everything that we do on this channel, because I am a one-man band and I would really appreciate it. All right, so the first thing I want to start with is everything that you need, you probably already have. I do not suggest you go out and spend a ton of money on day number one. Everything I have, I've gotten over the years that I've been doing YouTube. I didn't buy any of this right away. In fact, I'll share with you, when I started my YouTube channel, you can go back and watch the very first video I ever posted. I had like an old, what are those called? The Hero 6 cameras, the GoPro Hero. Actually, it was a GoPro Hero 3 camera that was super wide. And if you're watching this video online, chances are you're probably watching from your cell phone, and chances are that you have an internet connection. So everything that you have, everything that you need, you already have. Whether it's, as a matter of fact, this video right now is being filmed on an iPhone 14 Pro Max. And I'm doing that on purpose because I want you to understand that what you need, you already have. So with all of that out of the way, the biggest thing that you're going to need going into 2026 is just getting rid of that fear of being on camera, because the reality is that whatever your niche is, whatever you want to talk about online, there is someone out there that is willing and wanting to watch your videos. But the big thing is being consistent, right? Don't post one video today, 2 months later post another video, a couple weeks later post another one. That's not going to yield really good results, especially on YouTube. Like, the YouTube algorithm wants to be fed and wants to be fed consistently. So whatever your schedule is, whatever you can commit to, is what I suggest that you stick to. For me, I post 3 videos a week plus at least 1 live stream a week. That is something that I am comfortable doing. It's, and it wasn't always like that. When I first started on YouTube, it was 1 video every 2 weeks. I realized that wasn't enough. Then I went to 1 video a week, and that wasn't enough. And so because of that, is where I'm at now, where I'm 3 videos a week. It's probably too much. I'll be the first person to admit that. I'm definitely posting way too much. So the first thing is just the confidence. Just get in front of the camera. Just start talking. One of the things that I wish I would have done sooner on my YouTube journey is get in front of the camera and talk and build these skills early. Because when I first started my YouTube channel, I never got in front of the camera. I just did my thing. And then I started voiceovering afterwards, which, again, doesn't build that relationship between me and the viewer. They really want to get to know you. They really want to, who is this person that I'm watching? It's, people come up to you all the time and they say, oh, dude, I watch all your videos. You've helped me so much. And that never started happening until I got in front of the camera, okay? And I know we haven't talked about any gear yet, but I think that this is arguably way more important than any gear that you could ever use, is, building this confidence of, getting in front of the camera. And look, it's awkward. The number one fear of all Americans is public speaking. And part of that is also talking into a camera. Like, I'm sitting in my car right now, talking to a camera alone. For a lot of people, that's terrifying. And for me, it was as well. When you go back and watch some of my early stuff, I was very, very awkward in how I spoke. My pacing was really, really fast, or sometimes like painfully slow. And eventually you're going to learn to get over those fears. Eventually you're going to learn a pace, a rhythm, onto, how to do this successfully. And listen, I'm like 5 years in, and sometimes I feel like I'm super awkward sometimes. as well. So with all of that out of the way, one of the things that you're going to need to start your YouTube channel in 2026 is, what is your genre, right? What is your niche? And before you say, look, everyone always says, oh, my genre or my niche will never make it. Oh, it's saturated. Oh, there's this. I always hear people tell me why it wouldn't work. But I want you to think to yourself why it would work. That makes sense? I mean, look, my niche is bowling. You know, it's a very, very tough niche, right? Like the #1 subscribed bowling YouTube channel only has like 250,000 subscribers. So, you know, like if you're into tech, for example, and you thinking to yourself, oh, it's so oversaturated, this, that, or the other. You know, like Marquez Brownlee, MKBHD, has like 5 million subscribers. Like you have a possibility to reach 5 million people. You know, me and my niche is very, very small. And I find a way to be, you know, moderately successful in my very, very small niche. So figure out what you're into. And it's important that if you're into knitting or baking, whatever it is, that you don't try to get into something else just because you think you can get more views. It's important that what you're doing on YouTube is something that you are passionate about, something that you love. I love bowling. Bowling is my thing. It's been my thing for like 15 years, and that's why I don't mind grinding so hard on YouTube. So, yes, pick your niche. Then, there is another thing. I got a piece of advice, and it wasn't necessarily a piece of advice that was given to me. It was a video, and for the life of me, I can't remember her name. If I remember, I'll leave it up here. Eventually I will. I'll leave it up here. And in one of her videos, she mentioned that to be successful on YouTube, you have to do one of 3 things. Okay? And this is something that I've told people in private here and there, but it's something I've never said out loud. But I firmly believe in the rising tide lifts all ships. So you have to do one of 3 things. Hard stop, period, the end, to be successful on YouTube, right? Number 1, you have to be the first. Right? And you don't have to do all 3, just one of these 3 things. So you have to be the first. The reality is that, you know, YouTube's been around now for like 25 years. So you're probably not going to be the first in any genre that you pick. So you have to be the first. You have to be the best, right? Are you going to be the best on day number 1? Probably not. And that's not, you know, being negative. It's just that when you get into a space that's already occupied by people who have been doing this for a very long time, you're not going to be the best right away, right? So now, like, damn, Lewis, we got 2 things and neither one of them we can really do on day 1. What's the third thing? And I think this is where I got my start, right? So I wasn't the first. I wasn't the best. You got to be different, right? Number 3 is be different. Be different enough that people can say, oh, look, there's something a little bit different here. In your space, in your genre, whatever it is that you're watching on YouTube, a lot of the videos are probably pretty similar. So when you run into a channel where they're doing something a little bit different, it kind of catches your eyes. So be different. You know, don't be afraid to do things not the conventional way. Right, so you got to be first, you got to be different, you got to be the best. One of those 3, if you can do one of those 3 things, guys, if you can do 2 of those things, oh my God, your channel will absolutely blow up. But if you can do one of those 3 things, I promise you your channel will succeed. Be the first, be the best, be different. All right, so now that we have that out of the way, right, you selected your genre, you figured out if you're going to be the first, if you're going to be the best, if you're going to be different. Right? The next thing is just get your reps in. You know, they say it takes 4,000 hours to master something. Get your reps in. And look, the reality is that your first couple of videos that you post on YouTube, like no one's going to watch them anyway. It's going to be you that's going to watch them 5 times on 5 different devices, and then maybe a couple of your really, really close friends. So the reality is, it doesn't matter. Just post it online. Post. And then by the time your channel gets big enough, you can go back and watch those videos and really laugh. You know, for me, sometimes I have a fear like an imposter syndrome almost. And then I go back and watch some of my early videos and I'm like, oh, okay, wow, I was very, very awkward, right? And these skills that you're going to develop on YouTube and social media in general can really take you into a professional setting. You know, I have a full-time job, and part of my job is talking to guests all the time. You know, before that, I did leadership training and development, and those are skills that I learned on YouTube that directly correlated and translated into a professional setting. So you have to do all those things. And notice that, you know, we're like 9.5, 10 minutes into this video, and we haven't talked about gear yet. Is because the most important thing is not the gear. And yes, everyone wants, you know, a $5,000 camera, and everyone wants all this stuff. The most important thing is not the gear. The most important thing is you. Because ultimately, people come to your videos to watch you, to get to know you. They don't care that you're filming on an iPhone. They don't care that you're filming on a, you know, on a Canon camera. They really don't care. They're here to see you. You know, which is why I'm filming this video on the selfie camera of an iPhone 14 Pro Max in my Mach-E, which is, yeah, I love this car, by the way. So, all right, let's talk about what gear that I use. Well, this camera that I'm recording on right now is a Apple iPhone 14 Pro Max, and I'm using the selfie camera just so that I can see myself, just to make sure I'm in frame. The microphone that I'm using is a early generation DJI microphone. It comes with two microphones and a receiver. This case charges itself. This is generation 1. I think they're up to like Gen 3 right now, where they're a little bit smaller. I highly suggest invest early in audio, because your phone will shoot good enough video on its own, but you want to invest in good audio. And look, you can buy a cheap microphone for like $30. I don't recommend doing that. If you're gonna spend money early, I really recommend this microphone specifically, because the quality is just super, super crispy. You don't get any of that static that you when you go watch a YouTube video with someone who's using a cheap microphone. You can tell I don't even know how to explain it, but when you hear good audio, you know that they're using a good microphone. So yes, this DJI microphone is the best for the price. It's like, look, it's like $300, but it's 100% worth it. The stand that I'm using on this is by this company called Joby. This is, you can use this for like when you're doing selfie videos or you're vlogging. You know, this thing moves. I have 2 of these. One of them is used right now, and the other one goes on a different camera. I also have an iPhone 17 Pro Max that I also use to film. The reason I have 2 is because this 17 Pro Max I use to film a lot of the upper angles on my videos, and the 14 Pro Max is what I use to live stream. I don't have a like a wireless router or anything like that. So for streaming, I use this phone that we're recording on right now. So what else do I have? I have this power bank to help power my my iPhones. It charges right into the wall. Super important. Another camera that I use is this DJI Osmo Pocket 3, I think is what it's called, right? This is one of the most popular cameras in the world. It's a vlogging camera. Shout out to Josh Tajiri, by the way. I'll leave a link to his channel. He's another content creator in the bowling space. He really recommended this camera, but this thing is really the best. It's a small little vlogging camera, as you can see, and I can turn it around. Bam! It has a gimbal, face tracking. It's a really, really good camera that you can use. This one, if you're going to get into something like this, really be careful, because when I bought this or maybe not pre-pandemic, it might have been post-pandemic, this was like $300, but because of all the tariffs and all that stuff, I've seen these go in upwards of $1,100. But I think I did see something at Costco where these were like $400 or $450 now, so the prices are coming down on these. This is the camera that I use when I'm vlogging. So I don't use like the big, my big camera or the iPhones. When I'm vlogging, I use this. This is not very good for wide angles. This is very good for up close, moving around, because it does have the gimbal. And the really cool thing about this is that it is DJI, so it does go seamlessly with my microphone. It plugs right in here, and it uses yeah, they work together. They're both DJI. So those are the two things. Then I have my big camera. This is a Canon EOS R6 Mark II. Now, when I first bought this camera, I bought it with the kit lens, right? This is a 24-105 lens. You know, when you really get into videography and photography, this lens is not all that great unless you're outdoors, because it's like an I'm not even really sure what it is. It's like a variable f-stop, so it's like f4.5 to 12 or something like that. So if you're in really bad lighting, it's not a very good lens. If you're filming outdoors, it's a great lens. This lens that's on here right now is the 70-200 f2.8 lens. This is a monster of a lens. Again, you don't need this on day number 1. You probably don't even need this on day number 365. But shooting videos, and recently I've gotten into sports photography as well, this has been something that I've really been into. So I went ahead and I spent the money on a really, really good camera with a really, really good lens. The reason I got the 70-200 is because I was doing sports photography, specifically basketball, so I'm kind of far away from the action. Most people can get away with a 24-70 f2.8 lens. I like Canon just because I like the colors that Canon provides. You know, if you're a Fuji guy, get a Fuji. If you're a Sony guy, get a Sony. But again, this camera setup with this lens was probably like $5,000. You don't need to spend this on day number 1. You know, you don't need to spend this for a very long time. But if you have the money and you want to spend on a really good camera, you can get this. For the memory card, I have 2 of these, right? A 2.8 with a V300, V90. This is a very, very fast memory card. I have 2 of them in here, and it records to both. That way you can be safe. I have a couple batteries, a couple chargers. I have a bag here. If you're gonna buy a camera, you have to buy a really good camera bag to protect your, $5,000 setup. I have this Low Pro, right? Yeah, Low Pro bag, heavy duty, protects my camera. But yeah, really, really important that if you are gonna buy a really expensive camera, you buy a bag and don't cheap out on the bag. This bag was only $200. And I know that sounds expensive, but it's protecting a, possibly $1,100 camera, a $300 microphone, 2 iPhone 7 or an iPhone 17 and an iPhone 14, $2,000 camera with a $2,500 lens. So yeah, don't cheapen out on that. There's other things you can cheapen out on. Don't cheapen out on that. I also have some notes here. Tripod, just make sure that you get a tripod that's heavy duty enough to hold the camera that you are using. If you're using an iPhone, or a Samsung or like a Galaxy or a Google Pixel, whatever, you can use any tripod. Me, on my Canon, I had to buy a heavier duty one so that it doesn't tilt forward. Lighting, like right now I'm shooting, there's no lights, just the sun, natural lighting. If you're shooting outdoors, you really don't need any lighting. But if you're shooting indoors and it's dark, you might want to consider getting lighting. For me, when I shoot in the bowling alley because I'm a bowler, the lighting is good enough, especially with that f2.8 lens. The next thing that I have here, editing software. If you're just starting, you don't need to buy any editing software, right? If you're just starting, I think you can use what is the app on the apps or on your iPhone? iMovie, I think is what it's called. It's completely free. It's good enough. It's not perfect, but it's good enough. You can also use, look, I have it right here on my home screen, CapCut, okay? CapCut is, there's a free version. You can use that to edit your videos. You don't need to go out and spend a whole lot of money. But if you're asking me what software I use a Apple software, Final Cut Pro, right? I think right now it's $300. One-time fee, you get all the updates. It's not bad. I edit all my videos on my laptop. I have an M1 Max MacBook Pro, which is like 3 years old. It might be time for me to upgrade here pretty soon. But again, you don't need to buy a $5,000 editing laptop, right? What you have is enough, right? Use your phone, and then eventually, right? The only reason you want to upgrade your computer is for faster rendering times, faster, just for speed. The only reason I have this M1 Max MacBook Pro is because when I export my videos, it used to take like 3 hours. Now it takes like 2 minutes, right? Just speed. So I use that. What else do we have here? I talked about the batteries, SD cards, gimbal, and then a lot of these are not essential items. A lot of these are more luxury items, but the essentials you already have. Right? You already have an iPhone. You already have an internet connection. There you go. Oh, speaking of internet, I also pay for the top tier Cox internet. So I get 1,000 down, 100 up. The more up you have, the faster upload time to YouTube. Before I had good internet, it would take like 2 hours to upload a video. Now, like this video is probably going to be like a 30-minute long video. And this will upload to YouTube in like 20 minutes. Because I have really, really fast upload speeds. Again, you don't need it. I'm just paying for time. Yeah, I have here, gear doesn't matter as much as execution and consistency. In 2026, you can literally start with your phone, right? Like, the biggest thing is just do it. Start. Do it. I dare you. I double dog dare you. I'll support you. Listen, if you start a YouTube channel, leave the link down below. I'll subscribe. I'll watch your videos. But yeah, just do it. Start with what you got. And then, I think what turns people away a lot from YouTube is, like when you go get a new job, right? I'll use Chipotle, for example, because I had Chipotle for lunch. Let's say you get a job at Chipotle. You start working today. You're going to get paid for today, right away, right? You go to work tomorrow, you're going to get paid tomorrow. Well, not literally tomorrow, but with your paycheck. And it's guaranteed. On YouTube, there's no guarantee of nothing. You are working, and a lot of times working hard, grinding with no expectation of anything. Because if people don't watch your videos, if people don't subscribe to your channel, they don't watch your videos, you're not making money. From the time I started taking YouTube serious till I got my first check from YouTube was about 3 months, right? So for 3 months, I was working hard for nothing. And then my first paycheck from YouTube was $255. I'll never forget it. And at the time, I was like, holy shit, I just made $200 from YouTube. But when you factor in all the time that I spent leading up to that, it's really not a lot. Now I'm in a position where, it's not my full-time gig, but I do make enough to help, pay for my car, some bills here and there. But I think that's what turns people away is that they work and they work and they work, and then there's no guarantee of anything. And I guess while we're here, we might as well talk about what requirements you need to get monetized on YouTube. So there's 2 routes to get monetized on YouTube. And actually here, let me pull it up so that I give you guys accurate information here. All right, so sorry, I had to pause the video and start it again. To get because I wanted to give you guys the most accurate information. So there's 2 ways to get monetized on YouTube, right? Number 1, you have to have 1,000 subscribers, right? Well, for both tiers, you have to have 1,000 subscribers. So get to 1,000 subscribers. Then, if you are a long-form content creator like this, you need to have 4,000 watch hours. What that means is 4,000 hours of people watching your videos in the last 12 months, and it's a rolling 12 months. So after today, it gets, 365 days ago, it gets dropped off. So in a rolling 12 months, you need to have 4,000 watch hours and 1,000 subscribers. If you are a shorts content creator, meaning like vertical, you need to have also 1,000 subscribers, but also 10 million public shorts views in the last 90 days. I don't know which one is tougher. For me, like I said, it took me about 3 months to get the 4,000 hours. So like, that's a big reason why I started posting more videos. Because if you're posting a 2-minute long video once a week, you're never going to get to 4,000 watch hours. I started doing the math. I'm like, okay, like I need longer videos. And the longer your videos are, I mean, look, no one's going to watch 100% of your videos anyway. But the longer your video is, typically the more watch time you're going to get. So if you're going to get, 1,000 views, for example, and you're only getting, 30 seconds of watch time, 30 seconds times 1,000, like you're not even close to those 4,000 hours. And then the shorts, I mean, that's 10 million views is a lot. For context, I mean, I don't post a lot of shorts, but let's go here to my YouTube channel. Let's look at views last 90 days. So my total views the last 90 days is 645,000 from shorts. So I wouldn't even be eligible for monetization just through shorts in the last 90 days. In the last 365 days, I'm only at 2.6 million, but I don't post a lot of shorts. So that's kind of like a big thing. So yeah, 10 million views in 90 days. You can get that with one video. If one video blows up, you can get one video. You also need 1,000 subscribers. Bam, you're monetized. And then after that, it's just going to depend on your views. The amount of subscribers only matters until you get monetized. After that, it's strictly about the views. How many people are watching your videos? For how long are they watching your videos? That's going to be the big thing. So I think we're going to wrap it up here. I think that we talked about pretty much everything. If I forgot anything, I'll definitely, while I edit this, I'll pop up on screen somewhere. But yeah, the biggest thing, what you have is what you need to start, period, the end. Second thing, just get in front of the camera, get your reps in, and just post. Your niche, whatever you're into, it doesn't matter if it's knitting, if it's Yu-Gi-Oh, if it's Pokemon, if it's, looking at the clouds, if it's bird watching, it doesn't matter if it's tech, car reviews, whatever you are into, there is going to be a community that is also into that, okay? And then your gear, like I said, you don't have to buy anything right away. Everything that I talked about that I have in this video, I didn't buy it right away. Matter of fact, like this camera, I probably bought it 6 months ago, and I've been on YouTube for 5 years, so it took me 5 years to buy it. So for the first 5 years or 4.5 years of my YouTube channel, it was all shot on iPhones and, like these small little cameras, like we talked about earlier. So yeah, I support you. I'm telling you that you are enough. I'm telling you that someone will watch your videos if you commit to everything that I talked about. Be the first, be the best, be different. My name is Louis. I appreciate you watching so far. Good luck on your journey. 2026 is your year, and you are going to absolutely kill it this year. I believe that.